Alrighty, I will call the meeting to order. Review agenda for additions, removals, or adjustments of any items. Anything?
Yes, there's an adjustment, and that would be adding to the consent agenda, approved town clerk request to close town office on Thursday, July 3rd, in addition to being closed on Friday, July 4th. So we'll put that in as consent 5. E. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it for today.
Alrighty, public forum opportunity for citizens not on the agenda to briefly share comments or concerns.
Anyone on Zoom, raise their hands. Wish to say anything?
There we go.
Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself, Herb.
Yeah.
There we
go. Am I up here?
You are.
Okay. Yeah. Herb Olson, your legislative representative, and just off adjournment. Thought I'd stop by virtually anyway to say a few things. First, legislative session is adjourned, so I'm slipping into more constituent mode, and just want to, I'm touching bases with the boards and commissions in all the 4 towns. Just letting them know that if you have any projects, if you have any issues, sort of with state agencies or whatever, and you think you need some help, that's part of my job. And like to be able to help you. Not that there's anything in particular, but if something is up, just let me know, and I'd be happy to help you guys out. A couple of other issues. Man, there's a lot of legislation over there. The 2 issues that I think might benefit, you might want to make sure you're aware of. The first is a housing issue, and there was a bill passed that I was quite happy to see that provided for what's called tax increment financing to support additions to our housing stock. I'm sure you've heard, I know I've heard, that housing is a huge issue in our community, frankly, across the state. This program would be try to leverage some stuff in terms of allowing a developer to talk to a select board. That's why I'm talking to you here. In terms of getting a tax increment financing kind of situation where, again, if the town agrees, they might be able to benefit from additional taxes in the future while deferring some taxes in the short term in order to motivate folks to build housing in our towns. There'll be more details coming out over the next few months, weeks or months. I'm going to try to be actively involved in that because I think, housing is just a huge issue in our community and the state. So wanted to alert you to that. I'll try to keep you updated about some of the rules that are going to be developed, and you can take it from there. The third issue is the education bill, huge bill, and I'm on the Mount A board, so I'm sort of involved on that aspect of it too. But I just wanted to call it to your folks' attention because it's really a big thing, and it's going to have implications. Um, um, it's going to have a lot of implication. Larger districts are going to. Uh, I don't see if the train keeps going down the track, which I think it will. They're going to be larger districts beyond Mount Abe. And so we need to be considering, what are our interests and, how do we want to shape this in a way that is consistent with our community's interests. So I just want to flag that for you folks. I'll be happy to talk more. I can talk ad nauseum about the damn thing. But I just wanted to sort of flag it for you folks as something that you might want to pay attention to. That's about it. You got a long agenda. I saw that. So you got a lot of work to do.
Herb, I got one thing that I would, I'll speak for myself and not for the board. I think we had as you read in the paper a few weeks ago, we had a slide on 116 across from Martin's Hardware. That is West Street / 116. Right across the road from the hardware store.
I'm
about
sorry.
40
I'm having, one of the things is I'm really hard of hearing. I couldn't quite capture what the question was. I'm sorry.
I said, we had a slide on the bank to the river across the road from Martin's Hardware.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Across
Yeah,
the
no,
river
totally.
street. Usually in the paper, and the state tells us, no, we're not giving you any funding to help fix that. We had to fix it in emergency repair to the tune of $40,000, somewhere in that neighborhood, 30 to 40,000. And
Okay.
I just asked you if that slide had happened in Starksboro Village. The state been up there fixing it, and you guys probably wouldn't have had to. So I guess
Yeah, yeah. I
we
mean,
didn't get
you
any.
know,
We were told no funding.
I mean, my goodness, that's a state road, isn't it?
Yep.
Um, so
It's
I don't,
30 or 40,000. We won't be able to put in something else in the road.
yeah, so I don't know all the ins and outs, but I'd be happy to connect with whoever on your board or the group of you, whatever, to learn a little more and see, maybe who you've been touching bases with over in Montpelier.
I guess I would refer you to talk with our interim administrator, Ian.
I'm sorry, who?
I don't want to pass the buck, but
You can, I can talk to you, Herb, but I want to talk to you
Oh,
about
okay,
something
yeah,
else
yeah,
too.
no problem. No, I'll be
Okay.
happy to. I'll be happy to reach out. Let's connect and
Okay,
and if you see a role for me to play here, I'd be happy to do that.
okay, thank you.
thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Herb.
Okay, great.
Yeah, thanks for
Have
joining tonight.
fun. Have fun this evening until
You're not gonna stay on?
9:45 or something. My God.
Yeah, now it's 9:50. Okay, great.
Okay, I'm gonna leave you guys to your own
Thanks.
devices right now.
Right,
Alrighty.
thank you.
Thank you.
Department head roundtable. Sharon.
Okay, they finished the water read today, so I'll be doing water bills this week and getting them out the door. Along with the, annual report that needs to go out to our residents. Next Monday, we'll be closing the month and the year, the fiscal year. We're working on the audit still. Gail is pulling fixed assets. Invoices to send to the audit so we can update our fixed assets for last year.
For 2024.
And anything else that's going on.
Anything to add, Chris?
I worked on the revolving loan fund this week. We have created a payment schedule. Shows each one of the loans and when the payments were made. We're missing November's data, so I've requested it from the bank. I haven't heard back, so I pushed it up one more level, so. As soon as I have that, I'll push that out to all of you. So that covers all of last year's fiscal, 24-25 forward.
And
We
they
won't
have
be
a meeting
surprised with one of them.
Yeah, they have a meeting scheduled next Monday to go over the new request from.
Full motion.
Full motion, outdoor sports salon.
Yep.
160.
Yep.
I think that's enough for now.
Is, okay,
Uh,
questions?
having one from, no, I don't have a question, but I have Meredith's update. She won't be here attending tonight.
Frida's not here.
Frida is not here. I don't see her on. No. I will remind her.
Oh, and we do have this Wednesday, there will be an auditor here for the cops grant.
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Chris has
Oh, yeah,
put
that's what-
together
That's
the,
what I did last week.
yeah, Chris put together all the documents that we have, so hopefully we have everything we're looking for, but they'll be here Wednesday.
Wednesday this week.
This one.
Yeah. All right, we'll skip the recreation if Frida's not on.
Meredith says she was interviewed today about swimming safety by WCAX Channel 5, and she promoted people taking swim lessons. Summer programs have started until August 19th. This means that the office hours are limited as multiple programs will be running out of the Hub Teen Center Rec Pavilion area.
Perfect.
And then AZ is on for zoning.
Yep. AZ, you're up.
Howdy. The zoning world churns on. Things are starting to pick up application wise. A lot of applications right now before the DRB or coming up. So busy schedule there. Planning Commission is had to reschedule their meeting with the director of the Regional Planning Commission to talk about Act 181 and the future land use mapping that's going on at the regional level. Still working away at the GIS project, a lot of surveys to scan, and a lot of data to go through. That's about my report to sum it up.
Awesome. Questions for AZ?
No.
Don't have any. Thank you.
Thanks, AZ.
And Frida's still not here?
No.
All right, consent agenda, special event and street closure permit for Tour de Frost bike
Did they
fundraiser.
change that? It used to be Tour de Farms.
I don't know if it's something else. We have someone on tonight. We can speak to that. Ezra is on.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at it, I was like, what is that?
All right, Homeward Bound contract approval.
Hey, can you hear me?
Hang on.
We'll go through the list, and then if we have questions, Ezra, we will ask.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you.
Review and approval of past meeting minutes. Boy, I'm doing it again.
Okay.
Wish it
I should, maybe I
such a
should
tongue
start,
tire.
maybe I should start drinking again.
No.
Mhm.
Authorized warrants. And liquor and tobacco license and
And then,
closure of the town offices on July 3rd.
Yeah.
All right, questions on the street closure permit?
Ezra,
Ezra, now you can,
hold on one sec, Ezra. Okay.
Not sure I can turn my camera on, but I just for clarification, we're not closing the streets. This is
Right, it's a multiple use form, that's why it has that on there. Was it Tour de Farms before, or is this a different event?
Tour de Frost. I'm not familiar with a Tour de Farm.
There you go.
My apologies.
No,
So
that's okay.
we're expecting, we're capped at 120 cyclists total. This is a fundraiser for Vermont Youth Cycling. The start of the race course starts at Frost Brewery, hence the Tour de Frost.
There we go.
And we go through multiple towns. You're our last stop. We wanted to make sure that we went through the proper loops and made sure that you guys were aware and there wasn't any concerns with being able to use the public roads and usage for this gravel cycling event. We're happy to notify, I think I notified already I forwarded the email over to the police chief, I believe, or I was.
Yeah.
And we're happy to also, hear for any questions and discussions folks, or concerns folks have. This is not a race, to be very clear. The cyclist, I can't control everybody on the road, but we will be instructing them, you're going through people's neighborhoods. We need to be respectful, try to ride single file, stop at all stop signs, so on and so forth. Again, not a race. We've, over abundance of caution, we have gone ahead and listed the town on our insurance here, so that you guys are covered in that aspect as well. I'm going to pause and see if there's any questions from the group here.
I heard from the road foreman, Eric, and he said that He can't guarantee that the roads won't be graded. It all depends on the weather. Generally, he tries to accommodate, especially for bike races, where it won't be freshly graded, but if storms happen and work needs to be done, that is the priority over the race, just so you're aware of that.
That sounds very fair.
Do we
and
need a
understandable.
copy of their insurance showing our name?
Yeah, and if you can send us a copy of the insurance when you get it with us added, that would be appreciated.
I think Liz is also on the call. She's backing me up here. Liz, I think we already sent that over, if I recall.
Okay,
I don't know. if
Okay.
She might be
we'll
on.
double check that. As long as we get that, that's great.
Is there any intersections that need to be like, as you said, they stop, so like you're obviously gravel road, so you must be using with some, like, well, not hard gravel, but notch road or something?
It's
Just because I saw it on there.
We're-
yeah, it's Hollow
It's
Mountain
Liz here. I
Church.
can answer that if you want me
Gravel,
to.
gravel. Sure.
Yeah.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, how are you?
Good, thanks.
We'll be coming down Mountain Road. We'll be heading south on Mountain and then cutting west on Church and then heading up the hill on Hardscrabble and north on Burrow Hill. So we'll do the full Burrow. I believe that's still in Bristol, but that's
No, that's
really
all of that's in
It's in
Moncton.
Most of that's in Moncton.
okay. Okay, so yeah, we're basically south on Mountain. If
Right,
that's in
That's,
Bristol,
that's
right?
all Moncton.
That's all Moncton.
Well, then I guess we don't even need to be talking. Maybe we should
probably-
swing down your way, but yeah, we had been told that that was in Bristol. So
Okay.
Well, if you look at the addresses on Mountain Road, the mailing address is a Bristol address, but
Yeah.
the property's actually Moncton.
You're starting right on the beginning of Mountain Street, Mountain
we're
Road,
starting
sorry.
the north, yeah, then not down on the southern end, but we're starting on the
In Moncton.
northern end, and then we'll turn west when we hit Church.
Yeah.
So we don't
Then you're
do
going north a
anything
little bit.
south
Yeah.
of
North
Church.
and then
Church, then it's gravel, Burrow Hill. You never come to Bristol. You don't need.
That part
What?
of
We need to
Hartscrabble's
change
Moncton.
your routes. All right.
Yeah, you're more than welcome here.
All right. Well,
Okay.
it's good to know that.
You better
That's the
contact
case.
Moncton.
Yeah, make sure Moncton knows.
All right. Yeah, they do. They
Okay.
do. All right. Well,
Well, you're on here anyway, so, we could approve
So
it
if
even though
we-
it probably
I
doesn't
guess
matter,
my,
but,
so I might as well ask you this since we're here. If for some reason, because sometimes this happened last year, we did need to change our routes because a storm came through, so we needed to alter some things. If in the odd chance that that happens before Sunday, may we use some of the roads down that way since we've had this meeting with you?
yeah, I think that would be
Yeah.
fine.
Provided we approve the consent agenda, yes.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, that's,
Thank
And they
you.
at least let us know what
Yeah.
they're using.
Yeah.
yeah, let us know, but that would be fine. I think.
Absolutely.
I guess why I
Absolutely.
asked was there a stop like at the park? You know,
Right.
for a water break
Yeah.
or something
Yeah,
of that nature.
Not
Yeah.
for this, but yeah, others have
Okay.
done this. Okay,
Okay.
yeah. keep
No,
us
that's a
posted.
that's a nice thing to keep in mind for the future because Bristol does have a beautiful town center and resources and people love to stop for treats and baked goods. So maybe that's something we'll keep in mind for 2026 because we would like to have this as an annual event and
Right.
yeah. And if anything changes, we'll let you know if you do approve this fantasy ride that we're doing in Bristol right now, but if it's approved, we at least have the
Okay.
option.
Okay,
Right.
well, thank you both.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
All
Yeah, thank
right.
you.
Enjoy. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
All right,
Homeward Bound, that's the same usual contract.
yep,
Yes.
annual contract.
Okay,
Is it-
meeting minutes.
Yeah, Michelle's looked at both and they're all set to go. I'd move these to the top just to sort of make things faster. We always did them at the end, but it's really a consent thing.
Yeah.
And same with the check warrant as well.
Any liquor licenses or tobacco? No. So it's just the warrant and then anything on the office closure for the 3rd.
That would just be, it would be vacation day for staff if they wish to take it.
All those in favor of approving the consent agenda signify by saying aye.
Uh,
Opposed nay.
I think for that one, we didn't have a motion or a second, just so you know.
All right, then we probably ought to do that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the
Okay.
consent agenda. You read them.
Thank you. Yeah, I think you read them and then we might ready to, but just, yeah. Okay, so Bill made the motion and then Peter's gonna second?
No, I'll second that.
Okay. Terrific.
And then we voted. All in favor? Perfect.
We
Thank
did
you.
a little backwards, but
Just so we
that's
have
okay.
it. But I know Carol's gonna be like, wait a minute. Okay,
Well, let's see if she's paying attention.
exactly.
Public hearing, water sewer district annual meeting. We'll start with the review and approval of operating and capital budget.
Jill, and Steve won't be here this evening, but I've been talking to them today. Jill's at another meeting at this time in Moncton, actually.
Yep. Design review meeting.
That's right. Okay, so let's go through, we've obviously talked about this, on the June 2nd meeting. This is an update to that. We'll get some documents here. So we'll talk about the, budgets first. Let's go. Oh. So. Let me zoom that up for you. All right, so these are our actuals for right now. We're in this month.
This is sewer. huh?
Correct, this is sewer. This is just an easier one. It's a smaller budget.
Mhm.
So we've had all our reads and everything. And we're about 90%, and that tracks with the numbers that Steve has been tracking in terms of the water usage and then subsequently the sewer usage. So we're definitely lower than we were, or lower than our budgeted amount. So just something to be aware of. A little bit higher with our MISC and allocation revenue. Admin fees were lower because of the way that it was calculated and Val left and that wasn't tracked.
So where's that? Where's the money for the grease pumps? Or the grease trap pump?
It'll come out of the MISC and the allocation revenue.
That's where
Yeah,
that's where
we-
the money goes in.
Correct. And then coming out, it's the maintenance and septic tanks. That's where that.
Do we want a standalone line item just for that service and track that particular process?
We could. I mean, we have it as the maintenance and septic. We could put it as.
Well, I think it would
I
be
mean, it's-
easiger if we knew what it was.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Guessing.
Under revenue and expenses, we could lay out both those. It'd be easy to be offsetting number.
Okay.
So we're not asking you every time we look at this.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, we're trying to simplify, but then of course, if we don't always remember what has been grouped together,
Mhm.
it makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, that's where that's recaptured. And it's sort of, it's a reimbursement versus a payment. So that's another reason why it's sometimes put into the allocation and the MISC revenue, because it's a reimbursement.
The interest and penalties, have we ever gotten any interest or penalties?
I'm not sure. Have we
Just
ever
'cause
had
I
that?
think
We have
we
such a
budget $100 and I don't
Yeah.
think I've ever seen any.
We have such a small user base for the sewer system that I think it hasn't, with water, it's a little bit different. We have much.
Not
higher
that it's
numbers.
a whole ton of money, but I'm
Right.
like, I
I
don't
know.
think I've ever seen.
So are user fees down because people haven't used as much?
Yes.
Okay.
Looking at the numbers from Steve, and he broke down the 12 months, it seems like those numbers were lower than they were the previous year. And so that means essentially, it's based on water usage.
Well, part of that is that two of the restaurants are closed.
Hmm.
They up
Different time,
until
yeah.
last year, they were open 7 days a week.
Right, and then changed. Yeah,
And now they're closed a couple days a week, so
yeah,
over the course of the year, that's probably where the difference
100
is.
days, 4 days.
yeah.
So do we need to adjust that?
Well, we're going to. So essentially, because this is an enterprise fund, whatever our expenditures are, we then divide that and that becomes our new user rate for the sewer system. Same with water. Because we obviously need enough money for these systems to be self-contained.
Yeah, but if you make that new rate, whatever it is, based on our expenditures, then do you adjust the charges to the
Payment.
users?
Yes,
And then we do it in the
yeah,
program.
Okay,
yeah.
We've changed it, I think, the last couple, 3 years, but not enough.
okay.
But it's tough because it is about the usage, you know, you wanna. Obviously, using less water is good, that helps our system, but then we also need a way to be able to capture that revenue, to be able to have the system run and be self-sustaining.
And a normal rate for the lower users is $188 and change right now.
Right,
Do we know what it will be?
I don't know what rate you guys are.
well, we're looking at, I mean, for that particular line in terms of user fees, it will be a 1.26 increase. Which isn't very much.
That's over the budgeted amount, though, not over the actual amount.
Oh, that's true, you're right.
So bottom there, it says total expenditures is up 4.52. So does that mean the rate's gonna go up by 4.52 or 5%, or
Well, if they're not using as much, it's gonna have to go up more.
more than that?
Correct, yes. This is just to match in terms of what the revenues and the expenditures are, but we'll have to look also at water usage or those readings to adjust accordingly. I just tried to do it as best I could in terms of what it might be, but we have to dig deeper into those numbers and see, because we only reached 90% of our budget, given the lower water use.
So, okay, so I'm gonna have a question on the bond payments.
Mhm.
You know, I know this was their last payment this year, final payment this month. So does that mess up your percentage by the no calculation? Versus the bid?
No, I don't
is
think
by
so.
the Zero?
I'll double check
Yeah.
that. And we're still, the bond thing, we're still looking into that.
Okay,
And I think it's a combination of things. Bond was 2012. It was for multiple, it was divided between multiple things in the town. I can't remember what that was. I wasn't a board member at the time, and digging into the files, it's a little bit complicated to see. You can see it on the Vermont Bond Bank. They have a publicly available portal where you can search for it, but that doesn't really give us any money. That tells us how much we owe and how many years we have left. But this one was confusing just because I believe it was like a 6.8% split. That was the sewer portion. And when I look at the documents that break down the payment of that, it was about 10 years, and that's where we reached 2023. But we still have other money to pay back on that bond payment,
You
which
mean
is
like
from another part of the system.
Like other departments, like maybe
Yes.
some.
It was like-
Capital roads or.
Well, no,
Capital roads.
it was like, I mean, the bond itself is like, it's either stormwater or it's water. It's the way that it was split. So it was 2012, the original, and then it was like refinanced in 2016. So then it became another bond or another updated part of that bond.
so the 2012 one, was that
Hey,
North
West
Street?
Street, was it?
Was that North Street?
I think so, North Street, and because it wouldn't have been tied in with West.
West Street. yeah.
North Street, we did
That's got
the
2
2-inch line up to the
Library.
library.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought we did that.
so I'll probably pick your
Sewer,
brains.
Yeah, this is sewer.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, and it was at the time, I mean, we can probably look back in minutes and find how it was split and why. But that's why there was that confusion where we didn't know, like, wait, we are still paying this, but it seems like the sewer did run its full amount. It's 6.8%, or whatever it was, and then that's finalized.
So when it was refinanced in 2016. Was this part refinanced and was?
I don't know,
So do
I
you-
talked
do
to
you know,
Ken
right?
at the Vermont Bond Bank, and he says he's gonna collect all the original loan documents and send it, like, we have some, but it's again, just the
Yeah,
organizing
Yeah,
of
and I
all
think
that.
originally there was 4 notes
Yes,
and it rolled into 2.
yeah,
But we're still paying on another one for sewer for something which needs to be clarified.
yes,
So we're still 20,000 to
we
the
are
good,
still in the
20,
dark.
we're 24,000 to the good, we got 12,000 to go into the capital equipment, I don't see anything else there that's gotta be moved. So we're 12,000 to the good.
correct. So what we did was last year we didn't, for some reason,
Well, the question is,
Yes.
if we're 12,000 to the good. Do we need to change the rates, or are we good?
Or next year, we're putting 15 in,
correct,
budgeting 15 for the capital reserve.
I think you have to adjust the rates
yeah,
just to keep up with
Yeah.
stuff because. We
Well,
know,
I'm just
we-
saying,
yeah,
we're saying we're in trouble because we didn't have the revenue, but we didn't spend the money.
That's
We didn't
true,
spend all
so
the money.
that's right, it does balance
Well,
out.
the maintenance and septic tank. There's still money that has to go take out of there because
Got one more
Geez has to
puppy
do one more pump, right? One or two more pumps. She was doing
Yeah.
cell one.
That was
That-
about
and
10
cell
grand.
two,
Yeah, that'll fill it
Right,
up.
yeah, and that'll
So
take
that'll be
care of
close.
that.
Typically, when we talked about this, at June 2nd, we had that chart, it was the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Typically, we spend over,
Yeah,
and we're losing money on it, so we're trying to adjust it as best we
Yeah,
can,
so-
but also not have a huge,
So even
Well-
if it is 10 grand, we still have 2 grand to spare.
yes,
maybe,
Well,
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
yes.
but under the capital reserve fund actual, we haven't.
We
That's not
haven't
in
put it
there.
in there, but that's what Peter's
Yeah.
saying. We still have 12,000 based on the number, the total revenues and the
Right,
total
that'd be
expenditures.
45, and then if you gotta
Take out
spend
the
10.
12,
Yeah,
that's what he's saying. We have 2,000.
yeah,
So we should be all right.
Yes.
So we shouldn't have to. I guess what I'm trying to say is we shouldn't have to go from that actual number. We should be able to just go with the percentage that you have.
yes, and it'll change a little bit, but we
Right.
gotta lock this down, that's part of the more difficult part to do this budget now, because we're sort of waiting for having
Having numbers.
it be 4 years, it'll be definitely better for this particular fund to have it in
Yeah.
December and synchronize with everything else, because we'll have a full
Mhm.
read of everything, which will be nice. So what we did was, in 2023, we had the last $12,000 payment. We had a 9,000, that was the remainder of that, I guess, for the bond, and we moved that 12,000, that was gonna be we budgeted that for the capital reserve. That hasn't been put in yet, but it will. And then I increased to be able to meet the work that we'll need to do over the next 5-10 years. I just increased that to 15,000. It's something where we know we're gonna have these expenses going forward. We're trying to get the fats, oils, and grease and the other materials down. So that's gonna be a lot of data collection and try to figure out how to educate users of the system to be able to treat it a little bit nicer, which means it's gonna give it much more longevity. And in turn, if we can get those down, we can actually connect users like the library or perhaps the former almost home building, things like that. So that's why that's up a little bit, not by a tremendous amount, but
Yeah, connecting them will be tricky because that's a district expansion and you have to incorporate everything between here and there. I don't think you can jump. I think it has to be contiguous. I think that's the problem we ran into before.
explain that.
I don't think you can jump over like
The houses. that are
Bristol
there.
co-housing and the apartment houses.
Ah.
Together.
What is the,
You can't pick and choose who gets access, so if you're expanding your district, you have to
Okay.
have everybody's along that
so it's
line.
something to be aware of, like moving forward, like, so really, if we want to expand the building that actually is at the end of the line that was run there,
Everybody.
you've
does.
got, you've got 16.
Everybody else has to be
Okay,
in the. I believe that's the way it's written.
okay,
They may not necessarily have to connect.
No, they don't have to connect.
oh, okay, you have to offer the ability for that,
They, if
Okay.
something, yeah, they have the option, but
Yeah.
if we don't have the capacity, we can't take them in.
right?
And.
Yeah, the idea is that we can update, we can get better collection of the materials that are damaging the system, get them much less. And then be able to offer that
Mhm.
and have people connect, especially the library. That's the building that's sort of hurting the most in terms of expandability. They don't, if they want to expand, which they already did at the back and down in the children's area, if they want to expand more, they've got to go backwards. And so that's right over their septic in Leachfield.
I mean, it was put in, figure nose in 2012 because the ditch was open.
Right,
Fire station didn't know where their septic was.
Right.
Some idea, and a one holer never had it pumped.
yeah,
And said, well, why the ditch is open, let's put the pipe in.
yeah, which is great. It runs right to the curb at the
Yeah.
library, so.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there's not a tremendous amount. I mean, obviously co-housing's big, but I don't know if they would want to leave their design system for all their houses, which is right in the middle,
Well,
but
they have a design in, I don't know if they have a replacement or not. Maybe
Okay.
it's-
I
Because,
think they have to,
no,
no,
the new rules, you build 1.5 times the size, you don't need a replacement.
oh, interesting, okay. So that's where we are with that. So, yeah, we need new rate to match expenditures. This was the updated method of personnel time and costs versus, which we had the full breakout before. Now it's just, we call it an admin fee instead of a salary or personnel salary. Miscellaneous, we've never used that, so we're gonna remove that out of there.
Ask you actually leave that, please.
Which one?
Miscellaneous. You
Oh, okay.
always have a miscellaneous line in your revenue manager.
Some you get, some bill you get, you don't know where.
From one
Okay,
off
yeah,
day,
yeah.
so we could just leave that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remove the remove.
This is, so this is our budget here that we're working towards. This is VTUM's revised contract for 25 to 28. And this is the sewer is 10% of their contract, and that's what that is. So it's a 3.4% increase. And then we sort of had a breakdown of what was supplies, that was chlorine goes to this line, all chemicals, Allen Chemical, things like that.
So I have a question, is that 3.4% from the new one, or is it from the one that's existing?
It's
Because
from,
there's a number in the new one.
correct, that's from that new,
Okay.
the one that she,
Well,
the one that she sent today.
okay, because she actually put a number in it, and then I did 10%, and it's not. I don't think it's this one.
We can double check that, okay. Unless she's
I'm just wondering where you got this number from, because.
in the, so she had sent me the contract prior. And which is I sent out to everybody. She sent it again today. Has that number changed, I wonder? I didn't check the differences between the original one that she sent me and the one that she sent today.
No, I don't, I think she sent you the original one that she
Okay.
sent before,
Okay,
but the total amount of that bill is in, I put it in. Because we don't have another meeting for 3 weeks. And,
well, wait, you can't put it in the bill because we're not paying
no,
it.
I put it in as a placeholder because you guys haven't made a decision whether you're gonna stay with the old increase or if you're gonna go with the new contract.
Oh, I see.
But we don't have another meeting for 3 weeks, so what I put in is the higher amount from the old contract, I believe. So that if you do approve something tonight, we can still,
Okay,
we can change the amount and pay it.
okay. Well, let's talk about that tomorrow. We'll figure that out. Yeah. It's pretty close. This was what I put in. If it's lower than that, so you're thinking it's lower than this. The 10% is lower?
Right.
Right, okay, that's fine. Okay. Any more questions for this?
No.
Okay. Let's look at water.
Oh, a lot of big piece of paper to lay in. Oh. There you go.
I'd like it a little bigger.
Oh, that's fine.
I have one.
I can't follow something that's small anyway.
Okay,
That's why this is better for me. You can follow it.
so here's our water district budget. And again, we've got the latest numbers in. We don't have the fourth quarter read, but as Sharon said, we'll be working on that this week. Extrapolating out, we're on
What?
track for 383,111. So that's really probably what we're gonna see here for our final read. So again, we're pretty close.
So our first two reads would have been lower because we changed our formula.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have had. There were 2 reads of the new or 3 reads of the new, I think, 2.
We've already. Yeah, 2 for the new read and then.
And the one we're gonna do, and this is our 3rd, okay. So it'll be, yeah, so we would have been. That original budget. We would probably have been over that, but you can see that with the expenditure. This is what we're needing to move up to be able to sustain. Water connection fees, that's usually captured in miscellaneous revenue. And hasn't been split out. We've had a few this year. And that's why our miscellaneous revenue is so high. We budgeted for 100, but I think we should just budget it for 12. Because we're gonna continue to capture that with a lot of different different payments that people are paying on payment plans for systems or service lines that were replaced or updated or put in. We're also getting connection fees and a bunch of different stuff from there.
So, wait a minute, didn't you say the water connection fees were in the miscellaneous revenue?
Correct.
But I thought we were creating its own.
Well, we
Well, we're
had,
taking that out.
well, we can, it would be up to you. We hadn't been splitting it out, it just been captured it all in the miscellaneous. But we could split it out.
I think I'd rather have it split out.
Okay.
It would be nice to know.
Right,
Mhm.
how
Yeah.
much of it, how much,
Okay,
how much we're making, so to speak,
Yeah.
on water connection fees.
Yeah, we can do that for
Absolutely.
this year, so.
yeah. Okay. And then we've got our sugar wood revenue. We budgeted 875, we actually brought in 1,011, so I'm thinking maybe we just put that at 1,000, that's closer to the number that we've been bringing.
Well,
in.
I think that's
It's a
because he
combination
put
of
more
things.
taps up this year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He put more taps,
And there's a couple other fees that are connected with that
Mhm.
revenue.
right, the taxes.
So put that up a little bit. And then MISC, I just put that in as 12. Maybe we adjust that a little bit if we need to.
Well, you're gonna.
Well, you're gonna have
split
to
some
figure out
out for
split
the-
it.
If we split it out, right, yeah.
So 12 is good, just make sure whatever you
Yeah,
decide
both,
for,
yeah.
for water, you take
Connection.
out and you put up there.
Okay.
Yep.
We're looking at our expenditures now. So again, the admin fee, we updated that. Looking at numbers, trying to match it's lower because it's just the way that we're doing the new calculations is per user or per billing unit, depends how you do it. And then splitting that up. And again, it's sort of because we're using this new system, it's a matter for us just to track throughout the year to see what those actual numbers are. They've always fluctuated in the past. And it was more complicated to track it in the past because it was split out in all these very small percentages between multiple people. Now it's just like a single fee and we'll see.
Yeah, and
We'll track
whatever-
that for the year and see how that plays out.
When whatever our salary line goes up,
Right,
that's what that line will have to go up.
right.
Right, that's what I was gonna suggest, just pick a flat line number for this.
Yeah, which I did, we have it as a certain amount. And we can divide it by the
Oh,
687.
no, so then each year when you do salary increase, let's say a 3% increase.
Right. You would do that.
Automatically just
Yes.
increase that number by 3%.
Yeah.
Well, no, it wouldn't be 3% because you gotta figure whatever the benefits and everything are. So it may actually be more than what the employee gets for a
Raise.
raise,
Oh,
But what did we,
because it's total
yeah,
compensation.
right, so almost level.
what did we spend for actual administrative fees in 24? I know you don't, can't go back probably.
This is our actual here.
That's in 25, it says. This year so far, we've spent 27.
Oh, sorry, 25. 24, we did. Let's see if I can find that. I think I had that in,
It must be right around that 19,000.
yeah, it was close to that. That was what we budgeted. So it was pretty close to that. It sort of fluctuates each year. And I think that's just having it be a set fee as opposed to the percentage
Didn't we-
of the hours and tracking all that makes a
When we
lot more
went with the
sense.
new system, didn't we, there's, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't we now set it per tap?
Yes.
Administrative fee per tap.
What we can do, yes.
But that's what that number has to be, whatever we decide it is.
Yes,
Per user. That's what that 15,000 represents. You divide that number by the users and
That's
that's
right.
what it costs.
yeah,
That's what it costs everybody who's in the water system.
right. And that's, I mean, the reality is that that's gonna continue to change and it will continue to go up.
Yeah.
Because our water system is going to get more and more expensive over the next 8 years. So really, the breakdown of that doesn't matter, it's, obviously, we wanna be as accurate as possible with admin fees, but everything else is really the driver of how this is gonna go up. Because of the water line projects.
Yeah, you take that 15,632 and divide it just 700 users, that's about $22.
Yeah,
A year.
yeah, it's around,
Administrative fees.
yes.
I thought that's what we thought about $25.
Yeah.
Administrative fees.
Yeah, and obviously, we don't wanna set it to an amount that is outrageous, that's far more than what the time is, how it's split between that, but also too, we need to. We do need to be more aggressive with our budgeting to be able to support the system. I think we've always been very, very good with budgeting, and it's now that we have these large projects coming down the line, we're realizing like we really need to, these need to be up a lot higher to compensate for the expense. That's gonna happen. Couple of these lines.
So of
training-
course, administrative fee, not just for doing the billing and other things, it's, you know, doing the paperwork for the loans and
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
that
It's the whole
the
combination.
bond, you talking with the bond bank and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah,
Meetings with the water department.
Right. exactly. Yeah, there's a lot of things in there, so we do wanna make sure that we're not.
It
selling
probably
ourselves
is a
short.
little low with everything that's going on right now, but
Yeah.
it'll even out over time.
Right. Talking to Jill, they never really used the training line, so we could remove that, she suggested. Same with computers, there was one charge of 110 for computers, it probably is just a mistake in terms of where it was coded to.
But couldn't we
I
put
don't think
that,
we've ever had a computers line, looking back at the last 5 years, we never seem to use that, so it's just something that got in there
The
for.
handheld equipment and that's not under that line.
Well, no, because that's,
Because it
it's
is
why I was
usually
gonna
under-
ask.
it's usually
Computer.
under supplies, meter,
Software,
touchpads, like, yeah.
but
Um,
if Chris gotta do some training on the new software, like he put a lot of time in that, could that? It's really minimal, I guess, on
Sure.
dollars, but
Yeah, if you wanted to put a line in for that, yeah, that'd be
you
fine.
know,
Yeah, I mean, it's there. We
not
put
just
it in-
training for the
We
operator,
put it in at some point and.
training for the staff
Right.
here.
Yeah, it was put in at some point and we probably used it, but then in the last 5 years, these are ones that we haven't used, so it's like we have the opportunity to clean it up if we want to. Uniforms the same, I think uniforms, we talked about it being a holdover from the previous when we were
Right.
operating the system, I think. Again,
Chris's
miscellaneous.
uniform looks fine.
We never really used the miscellaneous, but as Chris said, same with sewer, we can leave misc in just as a sort of a catch-all if we need it, and we could budget accordingly. What else we got? We got our water system fee, which sort of fluctuates throughout, each year. We got our property tax up in Lincoln. Electricity,
What is the water system fee?
that's the state fee.
Oh,
And we get that updated every year for us. Is it every year or is it every 6 months? I don't remember. The water system fee? Quarterly.
You have to pay it quarterly.
Electricity was bumped up. Jill thinks, she fixed a small pump, could have been a reason for high numbers. So she found some, inaccuracies when they were using in the pump system. And so that could explain why we were up a little bit more with our electricity. Given that, it should be lower because we've got VFDs in there now. But I did put it at 45 just to be able to sort of capture, I think we've got one more this month, which is probably gonna put us around the $45,000. Operating contract. This was Sharon, that was the price that I had. 76,140.
So 10% of this should be in the sewer? Or added to this?
Was it 86,140, and that's
Yeah.
where you took the 10% for the
It should be
sewer?
76.
8,600 there
Where?
in the sewer.
Sewer was 8,600. So should the
Oh, I
water,
see, okay,
should the sewer one say 876?
right, cause that would have been 86. What did I do
Because
then?
it used to be,
No, you're right,
last year 68 something, and it went up to 70 something.
right, it's up as this. Oh, no, it was the total, oh, you know what I did, I know what I did, I probably just took it. Yeah, I got it, you're right, it's the way I split it out, I think.
So the sewer should. be-
So is this number right or not right?
Yeah,
Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Ian's math is coming into question here. Hold on.
Name the contract.
Annual fee of 84,600.
Okay.
36-month period, 77,125.
Yeah, so that's right. I'm right.
That's
that's
what
the
we're.
contract,
Yeah,
that's for both.
Lump sum fee.
Is that the new one or the?
that's the
This is
latest
the one
one.
that
Yeah.
I got.
84, so 10% would be.
So 84,
Yeah,
60,
right.
10%.
And then minus the 10% is 71,600.
Yeah, this is
So
what-
why are you
those
so
are the numbers I had
confused?
last week, so I don't
Seven.
It was a simple question.
That's right.
So is that right then? Okay. Phew. Well, I know. Well, I'm giving you these numbers. and-
You know when you do it and then somebody
Look,
questions.
Sharon's looking at it. She's like, what's going on here?
Question to, you're like,
I'm sure Sharon is much better than numbers than I am, but, yeah. So we've got that, so that's the new one, our contracted services, everything above and beyond what their services are. We were at. We budgeted 48, we only hit 16 this year, there's probably a few more coming in because various repairs are being done in this last month. That they're getting to, so we're gonna probably see a little bit more in there.
So when VTEMS does stuff outside of the contract and they bill us, that's gonna go under this contract
Correct.
services.
Yeah, like repairs aren't part of their maintenance of the system,
Yep.
or anything else like that. Meters and touchpads, they've been captured in supplies mostly, so we could move that if we wanted to do that. I mean, we can, in NEMRIC, you have a full breakdown of what each thing we bought, so we can break it out if we need to, but just for keeping these budgets fairly condensed.
So did you do that, or?
That's where.
Yeah,
you know,
he's taking
we-
that
yeah,
5,000
we-
out.
We had the budget
Yeah,
in
he's
here.
taking that 5,000 out, but he only put 2 in.
Well, it's, again, it's like looking at what the supplies were, what we spent, and trying to find a good middle ground in terms of putting that in. I can definitely bump that higher. Again, it's like, you know,
I'm just asking the question.
No, I
I'm
know.
getting nervous.
yeah, no, I'm just saying that, you know, we're trying to find a balance because if you look at the bottom, our expenditures are 15% up. And the main driver of that is we're doubling our capital equipment fund. So we're 15% higher for water, which is a fairly big jump.
Mhm.
So again, it's like trying to find that balance in the rest of the budget to try to not increase that as much as we are. It won't be as high next year because obviously we will have accounted for that 100,000. Or the 50,000 extra. We're already gonna be starting at 100, so we're not going up another 15%.
50,000 for,
Right.
no, for.
So
equipment.
essentially what because we're planning ahead for our water line
Putting it for
project.
capital.
Correct.
Yeah.
We most of the time, most years, we have been putting 50 in. We've accelerated that to double that to 100 because we need to hit certain targets with our loan repayments or our loan calculations. We know that phase 2 is, we're not getting anything forgiven, but by the time we get to phase 3, because we've been putting away 100,000 each year, that starts to knock out some of our admin fee, increases the years. If we don't do that, then when we get to phase 3, we still don't get any qualification, yeah, and we're working hard. We heard back from Vermont Loan Bank today, the Eastern Borders one, which is one we've used before for grants, and there's another one that they offer. So possibly, 250 from that, so the idea we'd be putting in as much as we can for grants to reduce that phase 2 amount of loan. Because much more that we can reduce that, the less we have to pay overall over the next 30 years.
Oh, your time figuring on this was really bad.
Why?
Because you had us at 7:25 and done with a review of the budget by
What?
7:40.
Well, someone said I just chat a lot, so I think you might be right.
On that operate contracted services, I did talk to Jill today, they still got the leak on South Street.
Correct.
It's the
And
corporation, huh?
And Meadow Lane.
And Meadow Lane,
Yeah.
and she said she probably is not gonna get them done before the end of the year.
Okay.
Or the end of the next,
End of the fiscal year.
cause Eric's on vacation this week,
Yeah.
and she said both of them are gonna take. Digging up the
there's-
road.
Yeah, it'll roll into the next.
Concerns with Devon Lane because the road is so narrow
Right,
and
Where's
being
the lane?
able to dig without holes in the road.
Oh, interesting.
So we need to figure out another way in and out.
Yeah, and the neighbors are definitely stressed.
Across a field?
So
Yeah.
where?
Yeah, well, if.
Like where the
line
tree
of
is.
hay was
Huh?
going-
Right in front of Mary's,
Oh, okay.
right, where they took the big
Where they
tree.
took the tree out?
just
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
little bit north of that, just
Yeah.
a ocean north of it.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
Well, it depends on where the leak is. If the leak
Yeah.
at the curb stop, then it's one side of the road. If the leak's in the middle of the road, it's the whole road. If the leak's at the main, it's on the other side of the road.
And we've been threatened with an attorney already, because it's not being fixed.
Oh, wow.
that's unfortunate.
We're doing the best we
Every
can.
day.
I mean, it's been over a week,
Mhm.
we haven't made 0 on it, so.
Yeah.
Well, we
We're
made
not-
0 on it because our water operator's been
I know.
dealing with 2 deaths in the family.
I get that, but they've been back for the week, I mean, I don't know, I'm just a little disappointed that it's been over a week that we haven't made any progress.
Well, what happened on South Street? Cause I thought they were working on
They
that.
did
Well,
one.
they did one
Another.
part of it, but it's still leaking in
Oh.
another part.
So let's see, going down, supplies, building overhead maintenance, compliance testing, the usual things, and we've got our three bonds that we're paying back. Or three loans rather. So those all stay the same because we know the numbers for those. We've got our additional 50,000 for our capital
When you
water
say
equipment
these,
fund.
what you say they stay the same, the USDA refinance was, we paid $63.51 this year. And next year's gonna be 55,893.
Looking at the schedule, it says it's 5583.
Okay, no, I'm I
Yeah.
just, that's good, I guess. $8,000.
Sometimes there's like, if you look at the schedule, there are some years that have rebates that take the number down, so it's not consistent. So it's,
So there's no rebate in 63, that's a,
That's up.
that's
No,
all.
the 55 is the rebate.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, but
We
how-
budgeted 55,893 and it went up 8,000.
Yeah, that's what, I mean, this came from, I think, the schedule that we had, but we'll double check that.
We shouldn't put 63 instead of 55,893.
I'll look at that, I'll make sure. Again, the 50,000 for capital improvement fund, and then, we were at 3689 that we spent this year. As sort of repayment for transfer to capital roads, we budgeted 25, I just knocked that to 3,000 just to accommodate road paving.
It's all you, Joel. Rightfully so.
And so.
Go look at Maple,
Rightfully
Then
so.
we're-
go look at Maple Street or all these other streets. When you dig in the road, you accelerate that paving from 10 years, maybe down to 8 years, or 12 years down to 10 years, Beaker. I'm sorry. $3,000 doesn't buy you a pickup, dump truck load of paving.
So we're around 15% increase, and if we look at,
Eric would like a lot more than that.
we're matching
Per
that
year.
here, and so we're about, with the water fees, we're about 11.97% increase.
So those fees are gonna have to go up.
Yes, which we know they're gonna go up every year.
Mhm.
And it's the only way, and this is sort of outside of, this is the maintenance of the system, but it's also, once we add another line for phase 2 debt, then they go up again. It's just,
Right.
it's just, there's nothing we can do to prevent that. I mean, we can just not do the project, but, that's not.
Yeah, the
really-
pipes will get better.
That's not really gonna
They'll
help,
get better.
help anyone. Yes. I mean, they'll just
Like
get
the
more
old
and more,
dog laying on the
they'll get
floor.
more and more corroded, and where your pressure will just drop and no one will have any water. So, all right, so that's where we are with that. Let's stop this. We gotta get moving. So that's the two budgets.
So we're on to replacement schedule review. Has that
That
changed?
hasn't changed.
No, that's been
We
pretty much the
haven't seen it.
same, we've got,
Capital improvement plan review and updates.
that's about the same, again, taking into
Wait.
consideration.
Wait a minute, back to 6A. If it says review and approval of operating budgets, we have to make a motion in a second to approve the budget as presented.
He's got numbers he's gonna change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still trying to wait for the water and get that final one.
Okay, I just saw it said.
Yeah, I
No,
know,
I know.
I know what it says, but we.
No, I know.
I know. But
It
I
can't-
had to
I
have
mean, we're
budget
doing
for
it,
July
we're doing
1,
it for the
that's all I'm
budget
saying.
for this year, so it's gotta be for July 1st, because that's what we're moving into. But it'd be nice to wait for that final water read to be able to have that. And maybe it's just a meeting where we just approve that. We've gone past July, and approved the water budget on some occasions, if we need to. Again, trying to capture as much.
As long as we
possible.
don't get too far.
No, exactly. I don't plan on that.
All right.
Don't get
Annual
involved.
wastewater system inspection report.
That's pretty easy. Let's just take a look at that. I gotta find that.
Get that one done, Peter. You'll be right back on time. It's
Mhm.
No, I know, hold on. I gotta remember I put that down on the folders.
Usually you put it on things we have to look at on the
No, I know.
website.
Well, cause Steve sent me so many reports. I was like, which report is this now? Okay, so. Where is it? Let me see if I can find that. What else can you? Sorry.
Are we okay?
Oh, yeah, there are a few things, he's got his usual list, his punch list. for the system that we need to do. Jill's looked at it, I've looked at it, it's been sent to the state for approval, so I don't have any concerns, we just have the punch list that I just need to bring to your attention to look at. So, yeah, I don't have any concerns with that, and the same with his other reports as well. I'll also send those and we can wrap those up, I'll post them to you guys so you can look at, because it's a yearly report, it's, you know, most stuff is cutting grass, doing this, doing that. So, yeah, I have no concerns.
Okay. Water ordinance update.
Right, so I've been working on this. Let's take a look. So we've updated most of it. We've gone through, what are we up now? We're on. Take a look at this, do this. Okay, so this one today. Okay. So most of this has been updated. The formatting still needs to be updated because we changed a lot and then it sort of got bumped around and moved. But most of these, I went through our comments and updated everything. Steve's gonna get me some information about the at the state level. Hold on, I can't say it again. Let's see. Where are the comments? Let me do this. Here we go. Okay, so this is the one he's getting. This is for the approval of systems, language for requirement for construction, inspection, design or certification, and record drawings. So he's gonna get me that information. I talked to him today about that. And then everything else got approved. There are various links to the appendices that I've been working on. And then things like this. This is the only thing I haven't worked on at the moment, which is various fines. Like we had a little bit of detail in the fees, but it doesn't really break out how we want to do the fines. And so I'm trying to see if we have other examples in other policies or ordinances that have a fine kind of schedule. It's a little bit bare, which is what it talked about in the appendixes. Let's take a look at that. This is from fees and revisions. Where's this one? So if I share this. Yeah. So it was this. This requires more detail. What is the timing and process? So this was the failure to provide access to meters. So in these sections, 13 and 14, 2. And so we just put in sort of these arbitrary amounts, not arbitrary, but I mean, linking to what we've done for other amounts, but we just need to break down what that schedule might look like. And I don't know if you can point me to examples. I looked at we're working on the livestock thing and there's sort of examples of like the first offense, the second offense, things like that. So we could pull from that if we wanted to use something similar. Or I don't know of any other ordinances that we use that actually has a schedule. We don't have a tremendous amount that have fines or fees attached. But I just need to flesh that out a little bit. But those are the main two things that we're working at,
The
Steve.
examples of the water supply, the water ordinances they've taken from other towns that have.
Oh, I can look at that, yeah, okay.
Cause I know like the Champlain district or Champlain Water District might have had some of them,
Okay,
and I don't know
Yeah,
what Middlebury's has.
it's just something that we should have. I mean, we have fees in there, but not really for not being able to access stuff. And we really need to have some teeth in that to
Absolutely.
be able to move ahead for some of these, And I think,
With these line replacements.
well,
Meter
Yes.
replacements,
well, any combination of those,
like the
right?
one I called you last week on.
Yes, so.
She called me
It's
really upset.
it's a combination of those things, so. You're trying to find that balance where you don't wanna charge people. For these kind of services, but at the certain point, if the water operator's been to a place or isn't unable to read it and it's been multiple months
Okay.
or years. We need something that
Absolutely.
we can charge to be able to get to what we need, right? Well. There is that, that's usually the last resort, and we hope it doesn't get to that point in terms of cutting off water.
But but if
I
you
know.
start doing it,
I
then
know.
people get the
If they
word,
know it's gonna
get the
happen.
word out.
Yes.
I mean, the only, I know you can, there's
Yes.
requirements for apartments, you know, and I know Kevin's looked at this, so,
Right.
just have to make sure that we follow
Yeah.
the procedure.
So I think we're still not there yet with this, because I gotta do a couple things. It's just been,
I
it's
guess
been so much going on.
maybe a suggestion in their contract, don't they have an hourly fee for? I won't say administrative, something, there's an hourly fee they
Mhm.
charge. Would have just, okay, they had to come from their place to come down and somebody refuses to let you in to read it or
Oh, I
this or
see.
that, it's 1 hour fee.
Okay,
And if we don't need
Yeah.
to say 1 hour fee, we just say, where'd you get
Yeah.
that number? We based it on that 1 hour fee.
The other thing that Ian's asked for said, okay, so you do that fee, but they still don't let you in.
Yeah.
Like, do you keep, is it a daily fee?
yeah,
Do you keep adding on to it? At what point do you say, okay, after the third time, it's, and I think that's in, I don't remember if that's in that, but the third time, we're shutting you off.
We get the range out.
You treat it like zoning where each day is in violation.
Right,
I mean, maybe I talk to AZ and sort of look at that, kind of the way that we do that and put it towards this. That might be a way to do that.
Mhm.
Because the nice thing is hopefully to have a sort of more standardized approach to any kind of fees or fines that we have. That we're not looking at all these different documents and seeing all these different ranges, and we can be
there's
consistent
nothing
with that if we feel it works.
there's nothing in here about,
No, I mean, you sort of get into this area here, but this is kind of a different area. You've got the civil penalties and the violations, you know, so it's different than those smaller fees for non-reading or meters not working and the time spent.
why
So,
can't that be under the same fee structure?
I mean, it could. You know, we could pull from that because it's, you know, but you've got these different penalties and then the time. Yeah, probably looking at zoning is probably the closest thing we have that might. Let's make sure everything's running. Okay. Hopefully, AZ's dropped off and because we have to quit. Hopefully people can hear us.
Is anybody on?
Sean might be on with me. Sean, are you there with me? Can you hear us? I know you may not be.
Shake your head.
Oh, you muted.
No, I clicked the asshole. Okay. I mean, I can see the little label here, so we should be running. Okay, where were we?
Water rules updates.
Yes, okay.
I thought we were almost done.
We are almost done. So we just need to update the fees document. So maybe we look at material, talk to AZ tomorrow, see if we can figure out a schedule for that. And then I can work on that this week and send you over updates for that. And then I need to get the source documentation for Steve about the approval and the construction inspection and the design certification. So again, we're getting closer and closer.
Use that.
Okay.
Are we gonna do anything as far as service lines? You know,
Well,
we
they
want-
aren't going in this next section because they can't. Steve told us that before.
no, as far as the ordinance.
Oh,
Because copper now is $10 a foot. And plastic is 94 cents.
It's quite a difference.
It's quite a difference when
Yeah.
I just bid the one for, the subdivision on Luterski's, and the copper was almost $3,000.
Yeah.
what is that new ordinance currently say? Is this still
Says
copper?
copper.
Yeah, we recommend copper, but
No, we
No,
don't.
we mandate.
We mandate copper.
there's
If there's a meter pit, but a meter pit is $2,000. So,
Pick your choice. Pick your
yeah,
poison,
pick your
right?
poison, I mean. And then we have to deal with meter pits.
Possible.
And I, you know, Jill's biggest concern was finding the lines.
Yeah.
And she said if they're not responsible for finding them, which there are very few cases where if you go to this go to the house and you see where the water comes in, and you go outside and you see where the water main is. Or where the curb stop is, it's pretty evident where the water line is. There are those that are different.
And we definitely, I mean, with the GIS project that we're working on, AZ's working on, and then that we're to be. Don't even have the ability to have that layer of water connections and possible lines as well. You know, it's work to put that in, but that is a system that we could build out over time, especially because we have the water project. So if we decided to do plastic lines because of expense, because that's a heck of a difference.
Yeah,
We could capture that information and have it available.
the other thing is, like Joe was just saying, that Jill told him, no connections in between the house and the curb stop. Or anything over 100 feet, you've gotta have a connection, because they only make copper in 100-foot poles. Right. So, like, there'll be three in the one on the Turskies, because it's 250 feet.
To that house out.
It's for the new house, yeah.
Is that far out there?
Yeah.
Which one's the Turskies?
Right. Lawrence driveway.
So I mean, if we had.
North Street, right across from the.
Right
across from their Cougars.
So if we, I mean, we're still working on the ordinance, so we could add language in if we were all in agreement with that. You know, I think Jill is accepting of that, but with
Conditions.
that's right. You know, she doesn't want to be
Tracing wire.
wasting time finding it, but I think if we put in conditions that you either need to have a tracer wire or it's recorded in some manner that can be then easily found, like, and GIS is one of those ways, then perhaps it's a way to do that. And I know that, you know, we all know that copper is the best, but also too, it's like the idea is to encourage people to build homes here.
Well, the other side of it is that West Street's all plastic. Because.
To the curb stop.
Because to the curb stop from the main.
Right.
Because we couldn't mandate, because it was federal money.
Oh, right.
We couldn't mandate what it was, so it's not like we don't have it.
Yeah.
So.
And I just don't, you know, as far as the cancer part of it, everybody's using text in their house now. I bet you got text in your house, so.
And Steve sent me documentation that's, you know, validated information about that, you know, for people's concerns with PVC and stuff like that, and longevity of use. So it's, you know,
I mean, there's
it's
nothing
been,
out,
it's
it's nothing,
been used for a long time with a lot of stuff.
there's nothing outside of the water district that isn't plastic. They don't run copper from your deep well. You know, back,
They don't.
Right.
You're right.
You know,
I agree with you there.
50 years ago, they might have run galvanized, but they don't even do that anymore, because it's not, because they have the same problem we're having. I just, you know,
Well, I
if
stopped.
we're truly want to make stuff affordable, if I tell you you've got to change your water line and it's 200 feet to your house, it's going to cost you $2,000 just for the pipe. And then it's going to cost you another $2,000 for the contractor to put it in, provided nothing goes wrong.
So is there language that we would use in terms of what a property owner is allowed to use if you wanted to use plastic? Like what would encompass that?
I think we need the definition of plastic. I'm not in favor of it. I've been down this road, but I've changed my mind a little bit, because Jill showed me a piece of copper from the South Street job the other day. It was that long, and there were 9. I got up to 9 or 11 pinholes. Right. And I turned it. So I'm going, okay, and also plastic, copper can have plastic. What I want to know is, number one, no matter what, it's got to have a tracer. If you don't, it's coming out of the ground, and you're going to have to dig it back up. The contractor, whoever. Say, oh, I forgot, didn't have any that day. They didn't have any in stock. Then you don't bury it. But I think the definition of plastic is huge. I don't want to go to
You're saying
Abishaw's and get me some black.
versus
Yeah,
whatever.
it's gotta be it's
A
gotta be the
definition.
right stuff.
Okay,
Right.
so we can do that. Add language in for definition of what plastic can be used, needs a tracer wire. Sure. I mean, it's, yeah.
And then all the other provisions, the sand and the.
Right, those can't change. The 12 inches of sand, 8 and 5, 8 and 8.
Yeah.
8 and 12.
Which would be normal for regardless of material. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the idea is that we want people to connect. And if you have.
Everybody
Well,
wants
and
this
then
in
you want
the
people to
century.
replace.
Yes, and that's right. Both new connections and replacing, that's right.
I mean, the brass is ridiculous. Like a curb box and a curb stop is
So-
$250.
So if we, given that, I mean, we know we have the service line replacement. We're not gonna go to the states, we're gonna do it in our own way, or our more private way. That's something where that would make a big difference in terms of, depending on length to house, things like that. On a plastic line, copper. Yeah, okay.
You know, you're you get a lot less risk of kinking the line when you're rolling it out.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of,
Okay.
just like there's a lot of
Yeah.
pros and cons.
Yeah, I think it would be less of a discussion point if the prices were anywhere near similar.
They
They
were,
were, that's right, yes.
And they were a buck for copper and 50 cents for
Yeah.
plastic. It wasn't really a big deal.
Yeah.
But I just,
Okay.
you know, it's common everywhere else. I
Okay.
mean, Panton, Virgins, they use all PVC.
Okay.
They have although they do require 10 feet of copper going in the house, which I don't understand. But they
So they
don't
make a
use-
connection, the plastic to copper 10 feet away from the house.
Yep.
If the line was 50 feet, if the curb stop was 50 from the house.
Yep.
I wonder.
but they use Schedule 40. They don't use the rolls.
I mean, you look, it went by me
Now is
today.
the time to put this language in, especially because we're gonna have that project over the next few years.
Went
Up
by
to
me-
70 people might need to be replaced, so. The ability to use a much cheaper material that is vetted and that is safe.
My guess. I got pictures. They fuse it together. And I go, that'll, oh yeah, he says, our parts pressure will not.
Okay.
We'll sniff test after this and it won't leak. So.
There was one other thing in terms of the water ordinance, and this came up, and it was a discussion I had with you a little bit and with Sharon. It was sort of, we had, in the past, we've done it where the town has paid for some service line replacements. And it's the payment has gone through us and then gone on to the homeowner. Some of those replacements have been, later on became town owned, similar to what your project, right? That'll be town owned.
It is town.
Right, it will be town owned or it is town owned. But we had a question about, do we want to put something in the ordinance to make that more official or not official? Like, what are our feelings about that? Because you by doing it through the town, you have a tax advantage, but I don't want the town to get in trouble because we're doing that. We've done it in the past, like I talked to Jill about it, I talked to Joel about it, and it's like, it's something that we've always done in various ways. It's not all the time, but we also don't want to set a precedence where the people can come to the town and feel that, oh, this happened for this project, why can't I get that? So we just want to
I
make
don't think you
sure.
need anything in the ordinance. I just think we need to make a decision whether we're gonna do it or not.
Okay,
And personally, I think we should not be doing it.
Right, I mean.
I think it's a gray,
The taxes should be paid.
okay. So we just.
We don't have any place to sell pipe in town, so we're not gonna get the 1%.
Right.
No. Right. Yeah, we've just done it, you know, and it's happened a handful of times, and sometimes it's stuff that the town has taken over, so there's more understanding there. Other times it's been private service lines, stuff like that, because they needed repair or whatever. But we just wanted to be, I think, decision from the board to sort of be clear about that. Like, going forward, you know, we should have a policy in place or at least an agreement that,
or an
I don't
understanding.
think. We shouldn't be in the business of selling pipe.
okay,
Personally, I mean, we don't sell anything else.
okay,
You know, we don't sell sand, we don't sell gravel, we don't.
okay. So it's up to us to be mindful of that, know the projects. Okay, all right, great. So we won't put that in the ordinance, or no, sorry.
Yeah, I mean. There was a project on West Pleasant Street 3 or 4 years ago. That bill was $6,000-7,000. From the curb stop, they had to bore through the house and all that. We paid all that bill, whether that's been paid yet, who knows? I won't give the name, Sharon knows, over on West Pleasant Street.
Right, so the things like that, we just have to be sure, I think, because
I mean,
we try
if
to
it-
accommodate as much
if
as
it
possible.
has to be done and we have to do it.
Yes, sometimes it's a time thing, and it's an emergency, and
That and they, it's somebody that doesn't have the means is gonna have to make payments,
yeah,
but I think.
Well, if we want these 70 people who have galvanized lines
right,
and say, okay, it was $2,000, you're gonna pay an extra $200 every quarter on your water bill until it's paid off, interest free or whatever. I don't know. We haven't decided.
right, exactly.
But that is kind of where we shouldn't get any of the business. You're going down that slippery slope.
Yeah.
We went down that business. We've been down that.
Didn't like it then, I don't like it now.
I mean,
It's,
Lawson
It's
Lane,
fair.
we're holding that
I'm
money.
telling you, didn't like it then, I still don't like it, but we're putting ourselves in the business of being a bank, and we're not. I mean, they can go to the revolving loan fund.
We're in a
and
bank
apply.
up less than 24 hours for my project. Bill was handed to me, I handed the town a check.
No, I'm just saying, we're not a bank.
Right.
And we shouldn't be doing business as, like we're a
We
bank,
shouldn't be loaning money.
right? I mean, that's the,
Well,
I
think
mean, it would be any different, like, if my well failed, the well guy isn't gonna pay my bill. He's not gonna take payments, I have to pay him up front. Or pay him as soon as it's done.
Yeah, and then there have been, as I say, occasions where we've had to do that because it's just to be able to get that project done and it needed to be done in time, but, we just need to have an understanding going forward, so we can look at each project and evaluate it. And probably the majority would be like, it's something that needs to be borne, the cost needs to be borne outside of the town's expense, unless it's extenuating circumstances. And we do have to figure out, in terms of that service line replacement, we've said that we are not gonna include it in our project because, and we're not gonna take it on because of the liability involved and the rights of way and things like that. But that's where depending on, if something qualifies for the revolving loan fund, that's something that we can direct people to. But it's still not something where,
Does it qualify?
we need to look,
So,
Well, renovation.
yes, so it's under there, we just need to double check the verbiage and
Yeah,
just make sure it does before.
I
we
don't
do
know
that
that we've
before we put it out.
approved the revolving loan fund document, so.
Yeah, we need to.
but it's also, we have the ability to do something special if we want to make this happen.
Yes,
And, maybe there isn't, maybe at that point, there is a nominal, either a paperwork fee or a interest
Right.
fee.
okay,
Maybe it's a $100 flat fee for water line replacement. This is what it costs you, plus $100 for administrative
Yeah.
units, or something
because we
along
want
that.
people to do it, there'll be some people who have means who can do it.
Yeah.
Right, they're gonna say, yep, that's not a
I'll
problem.
take care of it.
Yeah, exactly, and especially if we allow the use of plastics, if someone's getting a quote for a copper line or a plastic line, and they see that plastic is 10 times less than that, they're gonna go for that, and that's gonna be great.
Well, I mean, in a perfect world, you give them enough advance notice so they can budget for it.
Yes,
You're
exactly.
not gonna, if you spring it on to 24
Yeah.
hours before it's gonna
Yeah,
happen,
and
that's.
that's part of our plan, is to let people know, there's still a lot of unknowns that we need to make known. But once we have that, and once we know what's there, we then start to reach out to people.
My bills come instant. I make a mistake
Okay.
and boom.
Okay,
there's the
great.
bill.
All right, so that wraps up our water, I think pretty much.
Any other updates or issues?
No, that was just the other one I wanted to mention, just to sort of get more clarity on that.
Okay.
All right on time. Wait, we actually are, wow.
Hey, that's me. It's all me.
No, that's because you told Ian he couldn't talk anymore. I don't want her.
Regular business. Town Green Restoration Update. Look at that, we just walk on the schedule just for you.
Amazing.
All right. You're gonna go.
Oh, it's the low seat off.
I got the low one.
We're short people.
I know, I've already filled the seat for
It's right here.
I can be smart.
We
No,
probably got,
okay.
we got a defective one.
It's just for clear.
We'll send it back to the guy.
Maybe you'd send some of these old ones out of here.
Yeah, the church,
Thought the
yeah.
rec department was gonna take some of these old ones.
They did. They took them, remember that?
Throw the rest of them
You brought
away.
in, Joel. I told you to
I can
send
stop giving furniture the town.
I think we need to get
We
rid
love
of
your
it.
furniture. Not complaining. It
Dr. will
was a
take it any
little, it
day.
was a little low.
Already gave them 2 tables.
Didn't work out.
This week.
All right,
This is better, thank you.
what's been going on with the fountain?
So I got 2 quotes from Vermont Castings. I tried to source another company that would do that kind of work. Not really, nothing in the area. They're kind of the only game in town. So they gave us 2 quotes. There was one quote for, and I shared this email with you, the Lily and the Boy, which is the model from the original fountain, which is the one we have. The Boy to be casted would be 35 grand. To do the Boy. To do a turnkey situation, be around 47 to 50 grand. Now, if everybody pitched in 10 to 15 bucks as a crowd fund, you'd get to that number pretty quick. I'm not saying everybody in the town of Bristol is gonna pitch in $15. Some people pitch in more, some people pitch in less. So those are our 2 options. Me, Chris, and Ian and Meredith spent some time with Bob Wright, the owner of Vermont Castings. He came and did a site visit with us, and
When you say turnkey, you mean installed, ready to go?
installed,
They come pick it up and they
Yeah.
bring it back.
they pick up the base, they would clean it up, they would fix any structural issues. There's 2 feet that are broken on the bottom of it. So that's, some important things that I would like to see fixed just for safety, especially if you're gonna add 55 more inches
Right.
of cast onto the top of it. Plus, it would be a floating system like it was before between the 2 pieces. So the Lily's one piece and the Boy sitting is the other piece that would be in some kind of lock and bolt system. So it would be
Water come out the little.
yeah, water would come out everything, the lion's mouth, the base, the stem of the lily, and then up through the top. And then just going over it, making sure like any structural issues there might be, cracks that they might see in it would be taken care of, and it would be on site so they could plumb it all together and then bring it back to us.
Yeah, we
Blasting and finishing.
Yeah, we looked at it in the ability, like even if they just handled the statute part, just for staff or staff members to even just move the fountain to do the testing, to run pipes, it's a lot of time. And so it seemed like he didn't have the ability, he doesn't have the water, but he would figure out how to do that. Maybe he puts it in a kiddie pool and he'd do that, but we'd be paying him to do that testing, to actually have the lines run up there, have it come out the way we want it to come out, like he would do all that, which is great. I think that's the way to go.
So are we gonna pump enough? The new pump we bought, we're gonna have pump enough to push that water? Or
Well,
to get something different?
I'm feeling confident with it because the other pump we had was a cast based sub pump, right? And that had a 2-inch, I believe a 2-inch pipe on it, and that burned out. So that was a 3rd horse. The one I replaced it with, which is a continuous duty pump that's submergible in a plastic housing, that's 1/2 horse. So I replumbed it today. Matt helped me, Matt Myers came into the electrical work and tipped it up and filled it up, and it's pushing quite a bit of water. The pipe sits higher, so it seems like it's, it's up to the cast at the top, the way the water flows over the top is more pronounced because the pipe is sitting 6 inches higher because of the way the pump is at the base, comes out the top, not on the sub pump where it comes out the side.
And it's just an
So
open
it's
pump,
not-
but with the statute valve, be splitting out between. And coming out the lines.
Continuous duty, the water goes around the pump, keep the water cool.
Right, so that was, I called EcoFlow, that's the company that we've been using, or Alan's been using for a while. But he was getting the one with the side float and sub pump with cast. And they were like, well, you gotta be able to shut it off. You don't shut it off and you just let it run all the time, it's gonna burn out. So the other one burned out. So we replaced it. Luckily these aren't crazy expensive, it was like $140. And so now it should be good to go. It has an inline timer on it and a GCFI head of the timer, so the timer doesn't reset at the power cut. So it shuts off at 10, Park is officially closed and then kicks back on at 6, so it gives the pump a break. So that's the update on the fountain part, and then this is just a quick mock-up I did. What it would kind of look like in the sign for the campaign. So here you got, this something like this. None of this is like set in stone. Then you have the history of the fountain and town green situation with some historical photos that Reg gave me. And then down here, you'd have a QR code.
That's
So
all that's up
donate
here.
this, oh, there it is, perfect, in color.
Yeah.
Next one. And then a few mock-ups.
There's a few mock-ups. There's this one, which I think is like, it's getting there. So I'm gonna do a little bit of work.
He's gonna help me kind of clean.
Yeah. So the idea would be, this would be quite a large piece that would sit on the town green. And it would have an angle to it, so it could be propped up. Got to figure out, you need to.
Kind of like the United Way one.
Yeah.
100%, that's
If
exactly
you
what.
need to be able to weight it down, because it's a big sheet of plywood,
Right.
you want the wind picking up and shooting it across the park.
That
would not be
And it's gonna,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
this actual image will be on some colored plex, which is like what you see for large campaign signs, it's like waffly plastic stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, like, if it's gonna be there for a quasi-permanent amount of time, it'll need something rigid on the back
Yeah.
to keep it.
So she'd apply with maybe this is screwed to or mounted to or glued to. And we, confirm all the language on there, make sure that we print it out. We can just use Kimball's on their large format to be able to print out the size we're thinking. Sheet of plywood is 4x8. I don't know if we want to go that big.
We don't
Pretty
need to
long.
find that big.
We 3x6 would be out.
Yeah.
Okay.
3 bucks.
So we could definitely we could print that out.
Yeah.
Well, I think this is probably pretty darn close. So
Yeah.
we can see how readable the text is, and we do all that
Right.
before it gets sent and then manufactured.
Yeah. We'll send it to 802 print and it'll be formatted. Yeah, this thing I have to figure out with 802 print is that this is done on Canva. And Canva only lets you do 6 feet, but it won't let you do. It only let you do 37 inches, so.
Right. Yeah, we can figure it.
So we just like, because they'll charge us, I think like 60 an hour to reformat it or whatever. They don't want to spend more money than we need to.
I'll just charge you 59 an hour. Yeah, we can figure out.
Yeah, I think
move our
they
stuff
quoted
around.
us for a sign, it was like $150 or somewhere around there.
Okay. But it'll sit outside and be able to, be in any kind of weather condition. And then people can see it, and it's not permanent, so it'll just sit there for, I don't know how long. We definitely want it, the idea was for July 4th.
Yeah.
Obviously, you got a tremendous amount of people coming in, be able to have the QR code there, and have people start to donate.
You better get your button here, that ain't very far away.
So even though this isn't the final, if the board is willing to just approve. Approve the concept, and then we can work on the verbiage. I'm not concerned there's gonna be anything too controversial that would be written on here. We'll make sure that, it's legible and we can read it. It's just sort of history and then.
Yeah, so you have a history
That's the fact.
you have a history at the bottom, you have the thermometer at the top, and in the and then in the middle, you have a revised quote from the Herald thanking the town for doing this back in 1908, and then I just modernized the language. And then on one side, you have all the folks from back then with the sun setting, and then on the other side, you have everything that goes on in the town green now. So I tried to be inclusive and add children and elderly people, and
I would probably be against having the kids swimming in there because that's not something we want.
oh, it's a good, all right. Yeah, we don't wanna condone that, that's right.
I mean,
So-
wow.
They can,
I
when you
love
raise the
the
money.
dog.
When you raise the money, you will.
No,
The dog too, you see the dog?
We'll keep the critters out of the
I
bag.
don't know.
Yeah, Aiden's been doing great on this. He's got his
Yeah.
Monty Python kind of style and.
He's enjoying himself.
Well, kid was fun, in the back, there's like the dog waste facility, and there's a guy cleaning up dogs over there.
Yeah.
It's just, I was trying to be like as real as
It's
possible, and it's fun to look
Well,
at.
it is real if they swim in there, but I don't think we want.
No, I think you're right, I just,
Can't have a
Just-
swim.
Right, if I give $100,
Yeah.
how many minutes do my kids get to swim in this?
Well,
so, no, I understand.
15, as long as they don't pee.
Yeah, we can take it out, I was just, I was just visualizing my historical experience at the park and what I see, at the park, so.
Yep.
So this kind of
Yeah.
just gives you like a timeline, that's the sidewalk, they started with in the 1908 with the Village Improvement Society, pitched all the money together, gives you history about it. And then present day, where it looks right now, got a kid skateboarding at the end just for fun. And then
your detail here, the mid-70s, a kiss gone wrong. I mean, a legend tells, since we don't know the exact.
we don't know
details.
how it exactly got vandalized, with 3 different stories. Well, that one's the funnest, so we're just.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll clean this up and then.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Cool.
We need a motion in terms of approving it or just,
I think we should.
okay,
And then it's official.
okay.
Make a motion to approve the proposed flyer?
With the sign,
Campaign.
Yeah,
Campaign sign?
campaign sign.
Okay.
Fundraising.
fundraising
Fundraising
sign.
campaign
Yeah,
sign,
that's
let's do
fundraising
that for the
campaign.
fountain,
And I guess also
the refurbishing of the fountain.
approval too for the amount. So we have a quote. We had that original one that we saw, which was just for the statue. Whether the board is supportive of the new invoice, which would be the turnkey solution with the stipulation that it's all raised fundraising and none of it is taxpayer money. Or
Try to bring it back, maybe plumbing it up.
We don't wanna, we
No.
wanna set it back on there, we want.
All we wanna do
Okay.
is plug
Yeah.
the pump in, turn it
Yeah,
on.
just
and-
rewire the pump back in the
Okay.
way it is now, and it's good to go.
Is that what you? Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Carried.
We're
Great.
gonna have to get
When do you
Carol
start
a
taking
figure.
money?
When before the 4th, before people are on the 4th, so.
Yeah, get it out on front porch forum.
Set up
Right now?
financial.
There you go.
I'll make my donation.
Okay, here we go. First donation.
All right.
Love it.
And you got a lot of witnesses, so you better put it right below.
So if we see him peeing in the fountain, we know that he's done that.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very much.
Yeah,
that's
I think
great, thank
it's
you.
good. I think it's gonna be a good thing. I think I'm feeling confident we'll get a good groundswell of people.
I think you're.
I think so.
Just with the dethos that you have on this, it's like such a fun design, even though there's lots going on, like, I think people are really gonna enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I wanted to add all those people there to kind of get, make it inclusive and just make it kind of a Where's Waldo thing, like, oh, look, there's a paper airplane. Some fun things.
Yeah, gives people a reason to look at it and stare at it and then be like,
And
okay.
Canva's tools I use at work all the time, because I have to make signage for all sorts of things
Yeah.
at any time, so it just helps me expand my skill.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's right.
We're gonna send this to 802.
Oh, that's right, yeah. But if you want, yeah, we wanna do that.
You better get that to them.
Get that.
Yeah, they may not get it done by Friday.
Yeah. Okay.
We're on tomorrow.
Review and selection of engineering firm for West Street sidewalk scoping study.
I'm gonna have I'm gonna have you talk about this if that's okay.
She's muted, I don't know.
No.
Yeah, you probably gotta read.
Yeah. I'm
Do you
here.
want, you want video? Do you want people to see you or no?
No.
Like, you don't have to. You have the ability. I just wanna make sure.
No. No. Thank you.
That's
I'd like to be.
They got a bad sunburn, so.
Yeah, it was really bad in the office AC today.
All right.
You got it today or over the weekend?
Just kidding.
All right.
So a little update. So for this, we sent out an RFP and got 4 proposals. I have been working with the state contact Nadia to kind of, as this is partially funded with federal money, there's some different requirements. And so I've been working with the state contact Nadia I'm not gonna try to pronounce her last name off the top of my head. But we being Ian, Frida, and I reviewed these proposals and scored them. And out of the scoring, two were kind of tied for highest score, that being the proposal from VHB and the proposal from Du Bois and King. In sharing these proposals to Nadia for feedback along with our RFP, she had some feedback that some of the proposals were missing elements that are required as part of the grant funding. Those were MSK was missing the public meetings, and then also a architectural and historical review. And that Stantec was missing the historical and architectural review. And that D&K was missing that architectural and historical review as well. D&K actually did include that as an additional option in their proposal. So they did not leave it out. They had it as an additional, and that was due to them asking questions of what we need. I informed them that review is not required based off the Airport Drive TAC grant RFP, which after speaking with Nadia, the architectural and historical review is required. That being said, after our scoring session, Frida, Ian, and I agreed that we would give the select board the decision-making authority over which company to go with, and to choose between VHB and D&K. It's my personal opinion that VHB came out higher in my scoring, and that they had their proposal fit the RFP. But I'll leave it to the select board, and that's kind of a summary of where we are.
So, all the proposals were very good. We learned after the fact that we were kind of ahead with putting out the RFP. The RFP didn't have all the details. So that means that was the reason some of the proposals didn't include the architectural and historical. It doesn't really matter because two proposals, even with that in, those proposals still wouldn't have risen as high as Du Bois and King and VHB.
Who's VHB?
It's an environmental firm.
Yeah, what are they?
I was trying to figure that out.
Didn't we use
they're
them
out
for
of-
something else?
Where
I don't know, I was looking at their proposal and I was like,
Didn't we use
what
them?
was it? Tell me what their full name is.
I don't think I have their full name.
Okay,
I could be just the people's.
Didn't they do the
names.
West Street slope repair?
okay, so maybe that is their name.
I think it is. It's
Okay.
an environmental.
No, that was NRCS.
Have we used
NRCS,
VHP
the
before?
federal government.
I don't recall.
Mhm. I don't remember them, but that doesn't mean
No.
anything. I know we used Du Bois King
Yeah, we.
Yeah.
quite often.
Yeah, so I don't know if folks had a chance to look at the two, and that's why I sent just D&K and VHB, just because those were the ones that rose right to the top, and then it was, we couldn't choose between the two.
Van Ness.
Yeah, Van
Van
Ness
Ness
and Burns.
just had it.
Yeah, it doesn't have it in their study,
Yeah,
Just-
no,
just-
I look, kind of look.
yeah. But both were very good. They included the historical, but we want to be as transparent as
Okay.
possible. It's, we were, because of the federal money connection side for this particular RFP, it needed certain things that we didn't detail. VHB actually included those because of their experience, and D&K added them as additional. Even with the cost assessment, we added D&K's additional funds in for that, and it was very close to VHB. The other two, again, as I said, even if our RFP had been more detailed, as it should have been, even with those being included in, it wouldn't have mattered.
Cause they were already over.
They were, some were higher, some were lower, but it's also just the quality of the application too, and the understanding of the project. Like it's ranked in various levels. It's, we have understanding of the project's insights into potential issues, qualifications of the firm, completeness and clarity of proposal, demonstrated understanding and an ability to meet schedule and budget, demonstrated knowledge of the project area, and appropriateness of budget allocation by task. So
there's a big, big thing in there. You can jump right in, AZ.
So this was,
I just wanted to clarify that the RFP, the phrasing did capture these elements. It just wasn't spelled out. The
Oh,
scope
okay.
of work included like assessment of existing conditions, and those reviews kind of fall under that
Ah,
category.
okay.
It just wasn't
Right.
explicitly spelled out as well as it could have been for this RFP.
Okay.
But the state's not gonna make us reissue the RFP because it's not. Okay.
As far as we know, I don't know if you've heard from, Nadia.
It's not gonna change. The only thing it's gonna do is make the other one higher.
Higher.
Right. Do you have any concern with Nadia sort of because of that? It doesn't seem like I mean, they did their own review of it. And they didn't seem, they spelled out their thoughts, but it didn't seem like we had to put this out again, correct, AZ?
No, it seemed more like feedback that these proposals lack a requirement. And not
Okay.
that it was like you have to resubmit an RFP. That was not included. It was more just like I've reviewed the proposals and this is my feedback and this is why they
Okay.
need this element.
Okay,
so we're talking sidewalk from
yes.
where it's gonna start, right?
Yeah, essentially, this is the West Street.
Right, on this
sidewalk
corner or
goes-
just south or just west
No,
of?
it starts right here, goes past Champlain Farm, continues in front of the post office, that's the main area on this side. And then all the way down through the existing sidewalk, updating that, through to the Creamy Stand.
Okay,
And the last we spoke to that property owner, it was a new property owner for that house that's just before the Creamy Stand. They were in support of doing a sidewalk there. It's a rental at the moment, I think with 2 different rental units there. So they were in support of it, so I'm hoping that still stands as we sort of work through this project. But our main really big important thing is just what is able to be done at Champlain Farms. The gas
the post
station there,
office.
and the post office. Post
Yeah.
office is a little bit easier. The
Cause
gas
there's already
station-
a sidewalk there.
Yeah, well, there is, and it's not really, there's no real
It's all
sidewalk, but
sidewalk.
there's opportunity to
Pavement.
put one there. Here at Champlain Farm, because of the pump situation and
Yeah.
underground tanks, there are limited options. So I'm really curious what an engineering
We've
firm.
got that wonky jag between.
I know.
Merchants Bank and the.
Yep. Right, to be able to straighten that up. So lots of possibilities. And again, D&K, they know their stuff. They've done a lot for us. And VHP were both excellent, like just looking through our proposals, they were both fantastic. We did feel that VHP just tipped D&K, I think, with the amount of detail that they put in.
Then make the recommendation. AZ already
AZ's
did.
recommended. I recommend VHP, but I wanted to give you the opportunity just because they were so close.
Then I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to go with BHP.
Okay,
second,
Further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify
oh,
by saying.
I do have a question, where's this money coming from?
This
We
is,
got the grant,
it's a grant. And we have a certain percentage, I think it's
but we
20%.
haven't got the money in our hand yet, we got a grant.
Yeah, well, we
Reimbursement.
don't get the money until after we spend it. We have to
I
pay.
And then, well, you didn't really qualify, because you.
Yeah, well,
we
this,
follow.
they didn't, this
This-
isn't one where they. Okay, it's not a water line, it's not a
No,
water line.
Thanks. Okay.
All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
opposed nay. Motion carried.
Thank you, AZ.
Thank you, AZ. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Select-
I'm gonna go
select
put aloe
board.
on my sunbird.
Select board roundtable. Michelle,
I'm good.
Ian,
I'm good.
Joel,
Just, I think I told you earlier, Jill called me today, we met, I talked. Meadow Lane, she knows it's still leaking in South Street, they gotta go back and open it up again.
both of them are gonna require road closure.
Both of them are gonna cover a road closure and, maybe Eric get involved. Also with traffic, and Eric is out this week, so she won't get it done this week.
So just a question on Meadow Lane, is it affecting everybody's water pressure?
No.
I don't believe so.
Not yet.
I don't know.
It's not effective, but we do have to have a plan.
So with Meadow, What are the?
It's one way in, one way out. It's
Uh,
one way, you know, in and out. You have to open the road and you.
Either we try to do half the road at a time, which the road isn't big enough to do.
Okay.
Or we get permission to go across somebody's lawn, or if the hay gets taken off my sister and brother-in-law's land, I would ask them if we could use that for emergency access.
Okay.
That comes right in off of Hazel Drive.
Yeah,
In the house.
Emergency access, you mean,
Fire truck,
People-
ambulance.
no, thought you were talking about people that live there. How are
Well,
they getting
people
in and out?
people that live there and.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that, and there's no issue with that in terms of the surface and it's able to be traveled by normal car and stuff like that?
As long as we don't get down
Yeah.
that deluge.
Okay, and then do we have an estimate of how long that might take the repair?
I would say it'd be done in a day.
Oh, okay,
It's not any
Okay.
longer, it shouldn't be any longer than that. It's just,
yeah.
well,
we
they
don't-
don't know what,
I know.
what, they
Well,
don't know
we
what
had
the
the
issue
West
is.
South Street one with, yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Worst case scenario, you fill it back in and do it again.
Shut the curb off, they'd be, those
Put a piece
people
of
would be
plate
out
steel over
longer.
it, or with plate steel over the top.
I mean, they're.
Yeah.
That's just, it's,
Worst case scenario.
anything else?
No, it's okay.
I have nothing. Interim administrators report.
Mostly what you've seen this evening, lots of stuff going on. There's an opportunity for the 2025 V-Trans Bicycle and Pedestrian Grant Program for you to, and I think Sharon brought that to our attention. I'd like to submit for, if it met approval, push button crosswalk at Pleasant and North. We talked about that a lot over the years. This is an opportunity for that. I'm getting quotes from TAPCO, who we've gotten quotes before for the fire station one.
And the one from National Bank of Mobile?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Where'd you go
probably,
with the third one?
North and Pleasant.
yeah,
Oh, I
North
think
and
that's a great
Pleasant.
spot.
Yeah, it's just, it has good sight lines, you know, obviously, you know, myself have seen kids. You know, very close to being hit there as they cross. Again, it's something that you've got to teach people not to rely on the flashing lights, but it's just another thing that warns drivers, you know, lots of drivers get up the
Not
speed
even
along there.
kids, it's adults.
Well,
I almost hit somebody there the
What?
3rd of July. They
Right.
were wearing dark clothes and they were right in the middle of the street when I headed up through and
Yeah,
they were mad.
yeah,
I don't blame them for being mad, but
yeah.
they weren't visible either.
Yes, I know. So it's not something there. I mean, we don't want a deluge of these around, but I think where we put them in by the fire station, right in downtown, and then this location is a very.
That's a
especially
major
because-
school.
That one's a-
Yeah. So I'm looking at that, and I don't know if people have a preference over, there are two different types. There's one that is the solid round pole, which is what we have in both of the fire station and the downtown locations versus the square, like signage post. I don't know why.
I think the
Okay.
round pole looks nice.
Okay.
To keep them the
Okay.
same.
So it'll be more money, but we'll see. We'll apply for that grant if
Is there,
people,
we're gonna have to worry about power in that right there.
it'll be solar powered, similar to the fire station. Is the fire station?
No, but it's hardwired.
This hardware.
Both of ours are hardwired.
Hardware.
No, I think this.
No, it's
Hardwired.
hardwired. So
We had one solar, okay. It would be solar powered. Unless we can somehow pull power from somewhere, but I don't think we.
I mean, there's power on the pole, it's just a matter of getting it.
Yeah,
That's whether they
we could
just,
look into that.
But then you have that cost every month of reading it.
well, no, they don't read the streetlights. If we could add.
No, but that's a fixed rate. because
If
I
we
know-
could add it into the streetlight circuit and just have it be.
Well, I'm gonna tell you what we did at Mountain Street School 25 years ago, and the Lukes hate it, and the school hates it, cause they pay a $22 service charge.
I understand that, if we could hook in and have it part of the
Good
streetlight,
luck that with GMP.
you don't know if you don't ask the question.
So do we have consensus that for me to follow up on that?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, I'll get some prices and we'll figure out. I've signed the Vermont Integrated Architecture Terms and Conditions form. That's for the MERC project. We presented a proposal, they
Mhm.
presented the form, I shared it with Frida, she looked at it and there didn't seem to be any issues, a couple of changes that we made in terms of paying. But so I've signed that and then we're waiting. They've had an internal meeting themselves, and then they're gonna be reaching out soon to start our first meeting. I mean, it's kind of our second meeting because we've already been working with them, but it'll be the first official where we're actually, we're paying them for the work. And that's both for the Holly Hall project and the library project. And we've submitted the MERP and the
DHP Historic Review Form. That's for that organization to make sure that the work that we do in Holly Hall is all above board. And then we are notified the selection person that the group that we did for the Mountain Street scoping study, the water study, that was SLR. I've reached out to them and they'll be setting up a meeting pretty soon. And then the last thing I've been working on is sort of a larger overview using Microsoft Planner of all our different projects and the timing, so we can start to see where stuff overlaps and how long we're ahead, especially the water project. You can see like, oh, look, we're up to 2029 now doing that project. So, yeah, exactly. But it gives us a better idea, and especially we can see how things are moving.
Must have orange in his pocket, it says we. 2029.
Right. Will I still be here, or will I be older and gray? And that's
Well,
that.
the rest of us
You
will
will
be
be.
here.
And you will be old.
Right.
We'll all be old.
So that's what I've been working on.
All right.
Thank you.
Any other business for the good of the order?
Let me just take a look and see, make sure there's nothing I missed.
A no would have been fine for Michelle and I.
Sorry, no, hold on, just in case. Other business, no, nothing in there.
Correspondence,
No,
executive session.
yes,
I make a motion, we enter executive session for one VSA section 313. For personnel matters. You need to fix that 8 to a section. It
What?
says 8313 on
Oh,
that
that
agenda.
is? Oh,
It's
sorry.
section 313.
oh,
The
sorry.
8 is supposed to be a section sign.
Oh, whoopsie.
It's like,
And a second,
Second.
all those in
Good
favor,
night, you
signify by
guys.
saying aye.
Aye.
It's your night.
Opposed,
I'll
nay.
talk to you tomorrow, Sharon.
Motion carried.
Okay.
Great, super. Thank you, Sharon. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks, Sharon. Thanks, Jimmy, Chris.
All right.